Okay. All right. So welcome to our viewers. We are here again with Bobby Enes Timge, who is a renowned figure in com. I will allow him introduce himself in this next session of Com USA information. This will be broadcast on YouTube. Go ahead, Bobby.
Thank you for having me. I am Chindokom Ernest Timge, a son of the soil, whose identity has been shaped by com values, oral traditions, and the fireside stories that taught all of us who we are. I remain committed to strengthening our cultural identity, unity, and collective progress both here in the United States and back home in Com.
Thank you for that. Yeah, I couldn't have put it better. We know that you were at the forefront. I would say you were the lone figure in the room at the beginning of Com USA, and so could you tell me a little bit about that? Just a little bit, not go too deep into it. What was your inspiration?
Yeah, my inspiration actually came from the fact that I'm in this country, in the United States, since 2008. I used to admire conventions because that is where we always showcase our culture, and our culture is our identity. So many things started going wrong, and particularly this started in 2022, and the organization was hijacked, and those who hijacked it were not listening to anybody but to themselves, doing what they like. So we tried to chip in our own advice, and nobody was listening. Nobody was giving us an ear. So we decided that we have to create something else so that all of us can agree to it, and then yeah, remember our culture. That's how we took the decision to come out with Com USA, and I'm so happy that I'm part of the team that started it.
So, if I could summarize your words, would you say Com USA was born out of respect for Com tradition and culture?
No, it was born out of respect, and then because all of us we know where we come from, we know how we celebrate our culture, and those who hijacked it were taking it the wrong way, and then they derail our focus, which was for our culture, was we try to maintain it and to preserve it.
Thank you. So, just this is a good segue into my next question, which is uh, about so many of our children are growing up in the United States without any deep exposure to Itacom and the rest of our traditions. So, what do you think Com USA can do to help the next generation stay rooted?
Yeah, you know that the Com oral tradition is the backbone of our cultural identity, rich in performance, moral instructions, and communal wisdom. Many of us who grew up learning values by listening to elders narrate stories after returning from the farm and roasting corn by the fireside. Today's children do not have that environment, and the digital age threatens to erase these traditions unless we act intentionally. And to me, I think that Com USA can help the next generation stay rooted by creating cultural programs such as Com language classes, storytelling sessions, and cultural summer camps. And they can also document and digitize our oral traditions so our children can access Com stories, songs, and proverbs in formats they use daily. And they can also engage elders as cultural mentors, just as storytellers of old guided us with their moral lessons in the stories that they narrated to us. So, and another thing, like when we come, like now in this, on the 26th to the 28th of June, we are having, Com USA is having The second, the second come together. I will not call it convention because we are still we are still constructing the
Yeah, we're
our
so contract, but we're very close.
yes. So and when we come to conventions or come to gatherings like the one that we're having on the 26th, it is celebrating com culture popularly through we can also do that through festivals, performances, and community events. Like I mentioned, the come together that is coming up. And I remember you asked me, how can we preserve this? As someone trained in African literature, I feel it like you can, if you can see. So I've documented, these are stories.
Right.
Can you see the
That's
cover page?
yep. It says African folk tales from Com Kingdom.
Yes,
Yeah,
this is written by me.
yeah. I would like a copy of that. You should have sent me a copy before we sat together.
Yeah, yeah, they are all in Amazon.
Okay,
Yeah,
I think I need to look it up. Yeah.
African folk tales from the Com Kingdom is written by me. And there are 9 stories in the book. And then this is the second one. This is like it's Passions of My Pilgrim's Ride.
Right.
You see the road.
Yeah, I can see it. Hmm.
Yes, and this is another one. Yeah, so I was trained in African literature, and I just feel like it's a personal responsibility for me to join the researchers that are collecting, transcribing, translating, and preserving our oral tradition.
Yeah.
And the stories that I have here uh, that I've written, though fictional, some of them are fictional, but we listen to the stories by the fireside.
I could remember when you mentioned something about sitting by the fireside and telling stories. It brought back this nostalgia. I could My mind went straight to July in the rainy season when we are harvesting corn, and then
Yes,
you come back. It's raining, and then you sit by the fireside. You're roasting corn, and then there's all these funny stories, folklore that your parents would be telling you, and then we all got into it. And then every now and then, when you visited your auntie or your cousin somewhere, and then you hear a story, you bring it
yes,
back, and then it will be your time to shine by the fireside when everybody
yes,
gathers, and you'll be like, "I have a story."
yes, you are right. Yeah, that's very correct. So the stories I've written, though fictional, carry the moral lessons, values, and cultural memories that shaped us all.
Yeah.
And just as literature does not exist in a vacuum, so it reflects life's experiences. Com culture is my identity card. That's how I put it. Because it must have an identity where you come from, and preserving it is both a duty and a legacy for future generations. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
So in order, because the digital age, as I just mentioned, is actually uh, doing a lot of harm to our cultures.
Hmm.
Because even these stories that I've written, if you go back home today, even children that are in home, not only those that were born here in the United States, I don't think that even children back home will remember these stories that I've written.
No, no, I seriously doubt that because uh,
Yes,
since since it's a folklore passed down from generation to generation, the digital age is actually trying is almost threatening to erase that, and so
yes,
collecting and recording this is actually a good way to save that.
yes.
Hopefully, people
Apart
back
from
home
yes,
will one day, yeah,
apart from these folk tales that I've written, this the Passions of My Pilgrim's Ride is actually like a is it's an autobiographical story,
yeah,
but everything about Com is inside the story,
right,
particularly polygamy, and the impact of polygamy in the Com society.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have another one that I'm working on. That's a research. I started my masterpiece with it to to document Njangwang.
Yes.
Com culture is very rich in performance,
Yep.
very, very rich in performance. If you take time to listen to Com Jangwang, even Jang Fubom, and then the messaging is the it is deep.
I feel goosebumps.
Yes,
I
it is deep.
feel goosebumps just thinking about. I know, like I have listened to someone Jangwai, and my mom happens to be one of those people that was so involved in Jangwai,
Yes.
and there's so many different kinds of Jangwai. There's the abong. You have abong, which is just, we could liken
Ye-
that to
Yes, I remember.
country music
Yes,
here in the United States, and it's an offshoot of Jangwai.
yes, yes. Oh, the Njangwang, the Com women, they are very talented.
Mm-hmm.
When you attend like you attend like a traditional wedding ceremony, just take your time and then you sit down and listen to the songs. The messages in the songs, they are pregnant with meaning.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right, so we in order not to get too deep down there, because it was giving me good goosebumps. Just everything we're saying here brings me right back to come, and all my years in come going to traditional weddings and born houses where in Jiangwei, where they were all rich with Jiangwei and all
Yes.
forms of Jiangwei. So, so going to my next question. So, what role do you think Com USA will play in supporting causes back home? Like that's whether for schools, health, development, uh, without duplicating anything other groups on the ground are already doing.
Yeah, thank you for that question. Just as I mentioned, that literature does not exist in a vacuum.
Right.
Development does not happen in isolation. ComUSA must complement, not compete with the work already done or happening in Com through village development associations or schools, healthcare centers, or NGOs. And in order for ComUSA to do this, ComUSA rules should be partnership, not parallel structures, working
Yeah.
collaboratively with existing institutions.
Mm.
And they should be doing this focusing on identified gaps such as scholarships, medical supplies, technology, and capacity building. And they can also do this by ensuring transparency and accountability consistent with our commitment to a
Right.
rule-based 501c uh, compliant organizations. And then they can also do this by acting as a bridge connecting diaspora expertise and resources to local needs.
Correct.
Uh, yes, our strength lies not in doing everything, but I believe that in doing the right things with the right partners. That's how I looked at it.
I couldn't have said it any better myself. So just to continue along those lines, so for our elders watching, what would you want to say directly to them about their place and voice in the organization?
Okay, let me see. Uh, Let me see. Okay, our elders, you know, From USA rely on their wisdom. And let me speak to them directly. You are not just members, you are the pillars, the memory keepers, and the moral compass of our community. Come USA needs your wisdom, your guidance, your blessings, and your presence. We want you to know your voice is essential in shaping our direction. Your experience is our inheritance, and we cannot build a strong future without it. That's how I tell our elders watching.
Thank you. I hope elders heard you, and then they will continue to be the pillars of this organization as we so hope them to be. Now the very last question might be considered some sort of sensitive, but since you were at the very beginning of this organization, so I am going to just throw it out there anyway. so, so, what are your thoughts on what the organization can do to support members through life's key moments like births, marriages, bereavements, and which are so central to our culture?
Yeah, thank you again, Bobby, for the question. So I believe that in the COM society, major life events are communal responsibilities. Just as our elders use stories to guide behavior and teach values, our community today must surround each member with support during life's transitions. And as a member of COM USA, I would say that COM USA can strengthen this support by establishing clear support structures for families welcoming a child, preparing for marriage, or grieving a loss. And it can also do that by creating a rapid response system so no member faces a crisis alone. And then teaching and upholding cultural rights to ensure our practices remain dignified and aligned with COM values. And then building a compassionate community where solidarity is expected, not optional. That's how I looked at it.
Thank you, thank you. So, in other words, I'm just gonna lay this to the common people. If you are here, do not act like you live in a vacuum where you are only by yourself. So nobody survives by themselves. So, in other words, find a community of common people and be part of it. And if Com USA happens to be one of those communities you find yourself around, do yourself a favor and come join us. At this point, let me conclude by thanking you, Bobby. It was a pleasure having you today, and I hope we do this again next time. You have been one of the peoples I look up to when it comes to matters. So, one of these stations, one of these days, we'll probably dive into. I would like to talk about maybe com titles, what their uses are, what their jurisdictions are, and all of that. So I hope you come back and join me, and we can talk about that.
Yes, I will be happy. I will be happy to talk on that.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.